Doctor warns, for masturbation secrets old men wish they knew sooner. Life lessons from the elderly. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into living healthier, happier, and wiser as we age. I'm your host, and today we're going to have a real, heartfelt conversation about something that's rarely talked about openly, but is so important for men, especially as we hit our middle years and beyond. Topic? Well, it's right there in the title. Doctor warns, for masturbation secrets old men wish they knew sooner. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds a little taboo, maybe even uncomfortable. But trust me, this is a safe space, and we're going to approach this with the respect, honesty, and care it deserves. As a doctor who's worked with countless men over the years, and as someone who's heard the stories, the regrets, and the wisdom of those in their golden years, I can tell you that understanding our bodies and our health is key to aging well. And yes, that includes understanding masturbation, which, believe it or not, plays a bigger role in our physical and mental health than many of us realize. This isn't about judgment or embarrassment. It's about empowering you with knowledge so you can live your best life. Why are we talking about this? Because I've sat down with older men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who've shared their life lessons with me. And time and again, they've said, "Doc, I wish I'd known this sooner." These are men who've lived full lives, faced challenges, and come out wiser. They've taught me that health isn't just about diet or exercise. It's about understanding every part of ourselves, including the parts we don't usually talk about at the dinner table. So, today, I'm going to share 4 secrets, 4 pieces of wisdom that these older men wish they'd known when they were younger. These are insights that can improve your health, boost your confidence, and even strengthen your relationships. We'll talk about why masturbation matters, how it affects your body and mind, and what you can do to make sure you're taking care of yourself in the best way possible. Along the way, I'll share some real stories. Don't worry, names change for privacy. Some science to back it up, and a few practical tips you can start using today. Before we dive in, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're all about sharing life-changing wisdom for healthy aging, and I'd love for you to join our community. Also, stick around until the end, because I've got a special takeaway for you. A little piece of timeless wisdom that ties all of this together. Ready? Let's get started. Secret number 1. Masturbation is a health tool, not a taboo. All right, let's kick things off with the first secret. Masturbation isn't something to be ashamed of. It's actually a powerful tool for your health. I know. For many of us growing up, this topic was shrouded in myths and guilt. Maybe you heard things like, "It'll make you go blind," or "It's unnatural." But here's the truth. Science and medicine have come a long way, and we now know that masturbation is not only normal, but can be good for you, especially as you age. Let me share a story. I had a patient, let's call him Tom, a 68-year-old retired teacher. Tom came to me a few years ago because he was struggling with low energy, mood swings, and what he called a lack of spark. He was healthy otherwise, no major illnesses, but he felt like something was off. After some tests and a long conversation, Tom opened up about something he'd never told anyone, not even his wife. He'd stopped masturbating years ago because he thought it was wrong or unnecessary at his age. He grew up in a strict household where these things were never discussed, and that shame stuck with him. I explained to Tom what I'm going to explain to you now. Masturbation has real health benefits, especially for older men. For one, it's great for your prostate. Studies, like one from Harvard Medical School, have shown that regular ejaculation, whether through sex or masturbation, can lower the risk of prostate cancer. The research suggests that men who ejaculate at least 21 times a month have a significantly lower risk compared to those who do it less often. Why? Because ejaculation helps flush out toxins and bacteria from the prostate gland, keeping it healthier. But it's not just about the prostate. Masturbation is also a natural stress reliever. When you orgasm, your brain releases a flood of feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. These hormones help reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that can wreak havoc on your heart, blood pressure, and even your sleep. For middle-aged men juggling work, family, and the pressures of life, that release can be a game changer. I told Tom, think of it like a mini vacation for your mind and body. There's more. Masturbation can improve your mood and even help with depression. As we age, it's common to feel a bit down. Maybe you're dealing with an empty nest, retirement, or just the aches and pains of getting older. Regular masturbation can give you a boost of endorphins, those natural happy chemicals that lift your spirits. It's like going for a brisk walk or listening to your favorite song, but, well, a little more private. Now, here's the key. Don't let guilt or old myths hold you back. Tom was skeptical at first, but I encouraged him to reframe how he thought about masturbation. Instead of seeing it as something dirty, I asked him to think of it as self-care, like eating well or exercising. Over time, Tom started to feel more comfortable, and he noticed a difference. His energy came back, his mood improved, and he even felt more connected to his wife because he was less stressed. So, what's the takeaway? Embrace masturbation as a normal, healthy part of life. It's not just okay, it's beneficial. Start by letting go of any shame you might feel. Talk to your doctor if you're unsure, or even confide in a trusted friend. And if you're wondering how often is normal, the answer is whatever feels right for you. There's no one-size-fits-all, but listening to your body is the best guide. Secret number 2, it keeps your sexual health strong. Moving on to the second secret. Masturbation is like a workout for your sexual health, and it's especially important as you age. Think of it this way. Your body is like a car. If you don't drive it regularly, the engine can get rusty, and things start to break down. The same goes for your sexual function. Regular masturbation keeps everything in working order, and that's something older men wish they'd realized sooner. Let me tell you about another patient, Mike, a 62-year-old accountant. Mike came to me because he was worried about erectile dysfunction. He'd been married for 30 years, and while he and his wife still had a loving relationship, their sex life had slowed down. Mike admitted that he rarely masturbated because he thought it was pointless if he wasn't having sex with his wife. But here's what he didn't know. Masturbation can actually help prevent issues like erectile dysfunction and keep your libido strong. How does it work? When you masturbate, you're increasing blood flow to the penis, which is crucial for maintaining healthy erectile tissue. Over time, if you're not regularly using those muscles and tissues, they can weaken, make it harder to get or maintain an erection. Masturbation is like a gym session for your pelvic floor muscles and blood vessels. It keeps them strong and responsive, which means better performance when you do want to be intimate with a partner. There's also a mental component. Masturbation helps you stay in touch with your sexual desires and confidence. As we age, it's easy to feel like you're past your prime or to worry about performance. But regular masturbation reminds you that you're still a sexual being, and that confidence can translate into better intimacy with your partner. Mike's wife even noticed a difference after he started prioritizing his sexual health. She said he seemed more playful and connected. Another benefit? Masturbation can help with premature ejaculation. By practicing control during masturbation, say, slowing down or pausing when you're close to climax, you can train your body to last longer during sex. This is something younger men might not think about, but as you age, stamina can become an issue. Older men like Mike told me they wish they'd practiced this earlier because it made a big difference in their relationships. Now, a quick note for those of you in relationships. Masturbation doesn't replace intimacy with your partner. In fact, it can enhance it. When you're comfortable with your own body, you're more likely to communicate openly with your spouse or partner about what you both want. I encouraged Mike to talk to his wife about their intimacy, and they ended up finding new ways to connect, both sexually and emotionally. So, how do you make this a habit? Start small. Set aside some private time, maybe once or twice a week, to focus on yourself. Experiment with what feels good, and don't pressure yourself to perform. If you're dealing with erectile issues or low libido, talk to your doctor. There are treatments like medications or hormone therapy that can help. The key is to keep the engine running, so to speak, because a healthy sex life is a big part of aging well. Secret number 3. Moderation is key. Don't overdo it. Now, let's talk about the third secret. Moderation is everything. While masturbation is healthy, doing it too much can actually cause problems, and this is something older men often learn the hard way. I've had patients who, in their younger years didn't realize that overdoing could lead to physical and mental fatigue, and they wish they'd found a better balance. Take John, a 70-year-old former mechanic. John was a vibrant guy, always full of energy, but he confided in me that in his 40s and 50s, he'd gotten into a habit of masturbating multiple times a day, often using pornography. At the time, he thought it was harmless. It was a stress reliever, and he enjoyed it. But over time, he noticed he was feeling drained, both physically and emotionally. His relationship suffered, and he even started to feel disconnected from his own desires. Here's the science behind it. When you masturbate, your body releases dopamine, that feel-good chemical. But if you're doing it excessively, your brain can get used to those high dopamine levels, and you might start needing more stimulation to feel the same pleasure. This can lead to something called dopamine desensitization, where everyday activities, like spending time with loved ones or pursuing hobbies, don't feel as rewarding. In extreme cases, it can even contribute to issues like anxiety or difficulty getting aroused with a partner. There's also a physical side. Excessive masturbation can cause irritation or sensitivity in the penis, especially if you're not using lubrication or you're being too rough. For older men, this can be particularly problematic because our skin gets thinner and more sensitive with age. John admitted that he'd experienced discomfort but ignored it, thinking it would go away. Over time, it affected his confidence and made him avoid intimacy altogether. Pornography can be another factor. While there's nothing inherently wrong with porn in moderation, relying on it too much can create unrealistic expectations about sex and intimacy. John told me he wished he'd spent more time connecting with his wife instead of turning to porn as a quick fix. Older men often reflect on this, saying they wish they'd prioritize real, meaningful connections over fleeting pleasures. So, how do you find the right balance? It's about listening to your body and being honest with yourself. There's no magic number for how often is too much. But if you're feeling tired, irritable, or disconnected, it might be a sign to scale back. A good rule of thumb is to make sure masturbation is just one part of a balanced life, alongside exercise, hobbies, and time with loved ones. If you're worried about porn, try cutting back or exploring other ways to spark your imagination, like reading or even just focusing on your own sensations. And if you're in a relationship, talk to your partner about what you're feeling. Open communication can help you both find a rhythm that works for you. John started doing this, and he said it brought him and his wife closer than they'd been in years. Secret number 4, it's never too late to learn and grow. Finally, the 4th secret, it's never too late to learn about your body and embrace healthy habits. This is the one that ties everything together, and it's the piece of wisdom older men share most often. No matter your age, you can make changes that improve your health, your confidence, and your quality of life. Let me introduce you to Robert, an 82-year-old widower who became one of my favorite patients. Robert was a character, full of stories, always cracking jokes. But when we first met, he was struggling with loneliness and a sense that he'd missed out on parts of life. He'd been widowed for a decade, and he told me he'd stopped thinking about sex or intimacy altogether. I'm too old for that stuff, he said. But during one of our talks, Robert opened up about his younger years. He'd been curious about his body, but never felt comfortable exploring it because of cultural taboos. He wished he'd learned more about himself, what he liked, what felt good, because he thought it would have made him a better partner and a happier person. I told Robert something I'll tell you now. It's never too late to start. We talked about how masturbation could be a way to reconnect with himself, not just sexually, but emotionally. It's a form of self-care, a way to remind yourself that you're still alive, still capable of pleasure and joy. For older men, especially those who are single or widowed, this can be incredibly empowering. It's a way to reclaim your body and your sense of self. Robert was hesitant at first, but he decided to give it a try. He started small, setting aside time to relax and focus on himself. Over time, he noticed he felt more energized, more optimistic. He even started dating again, something he never thought he'd do at his age. "Doc," he told me, "I wish I'd known it was okay to enjoy myself. It's like I found a piece of me I'd forgotten. This is the beauty of aging. You have the wisdom to make better choices. You don't have to be stuck in old habits or beliefs." If you've been avoiding masturbation because of shame or misinformation, now's the time to let that go. If you've been overdoing it, now's the time to find balance. And if you've never really thought about it, now's the time to explore what works for you. Here's a practical tip. Create a routine that includes self-care in all its forms. Maybe it's a warm bath followed by some private time, or a morning walk that ends with a moment of relaxation. Make it intentional, not rushed. And don't be afraid to talk to your doctor if you have questions or concerns, whether it's about libido, erectile function, or anything else. We're here to help you live your best life. The science backs this up, too. Studies show that sexual activity, including masturbation, is linked to better cognitive function and even a longer lifespan. A 2016 study in the journal Age and Aging found that men who remained sexually active into their 70s and 80s reported higher levels of life satisfaction. It's not just about the act itself. It's about staying connected to your body and your sense of vitality. So, wherever you are in life, know this. You're not too old and it's not too late. Take a page from Robert's book and embrace the journey of learning about yourself. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as you age. Well, friends, there you have it. The 4 masturbation secrets older men wish they'd known sooner. To recap, masturbation is a health tool, not a taboo. It keeps your sexual health strong. Moderation is key, and it's never too late to learn and grow. These are lessons from men who've lived long, full lives, and they're sharing their wisdom so you can avoid their regrets. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with a piece of timeless wisdom that sums it all up. Your body is yours to care for at every age. Whether you're 50, 60, 70, or beyond, you deserve to feel good, to feel confident, and to feel alive. Masturbation is just one part of that, but it's an important one. It's a way to honor your body, reduce stress, and stay connected to yourself. I hope this conversation has been helpful, maybe even eye-opening. If it sparked some thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you know someone who could benefit from this wisdom, share this video with them. Let's keep the conversation going and break down the taboos together. Before I go, a big thank you to our community for supporting this channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We've got more life-changing tips, inspirational stories, and practical advice coming your way. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, and keep living your best life. See you soon.